This is Critical Nonsense, your high-low show about culture, science, and tech. This week, Joey asks Aaron about no-phone zones.
I was trying to think of the Lady Gaga song that has the ring and the telephone, but I couldn't quite get there. I could only hint at it, but this is what a Joey sounds like.
That's okay. I'll Gaga with you, just with an abracadabra, baby, ooh la la. I'll just give you that. That's what Aaron sounds like. Baby? That's not the right word for it. But,
And this is what our executive producer, Jess Vander, doesn't sound like because she's not here today.
Beady bomb.
That was her. That was pre-recorded. That was pre-recorded.
If ever Jess sounded like that, send help fast.
Yeah. Blink twice, Jess.
Yes.
Aaron, because of time constraints, we're going to do a lightning round. And with that, I'm coming with a softball for you because I kind of already know how you would feel about this, but I saw it and I thought it was interesting. I've seen more and more things coming up about no phone zones where, schools have gotten those bags that they will confiscate your phone for the day. You get to keep it, but it's in a bag that can't be accessed. We've seen that in some, movie screenings or, comedy recordings or comedy show types of things where they don't want the jokes or the content to release ahead of time. And so they confiscate your phone ahead of being able to go to certain events or things like that. But it's increasingly starting to spill over into everyday social places. I saw something about a cocktail bar in Austin that is confiscating phones. I don't think that is like a one of one. I think it's happening in more and more places, but it's like, hey, if you want to come hang out at this cocktail bar and enjoy the experience of spending time on a date or with your friends, do it without your phone. We're actually just going to make it mandatory instead of being sending a smug look across the bar when someone is just stuck on their phone the whole time. And so my question to you is, how do you feel about no phone zones?
Perhaps unsurprisingly, I'm a big fan.
Shock!
Shock! Surprise! Well, and I as with many things in my life, I know I am not special. There are so many people who I think deal with the tension of feeling the need to always be connected to everything that is going on and being totally aware of how much overwhelm that causes and therefore wanting to be disconnected. It's also it goes beyond technology. People, how many times before we had cell phones are people oh, I just want to go on a vacation where I'm off the grid for a while. I just want to, be in nature. I feel like my dad's generation, I've seen that with my dad for years. He's a radiologist. He lives in advanced tech all day long and then tries to, as quickly as possible, get to the wilderness. He wants to hike in Arizona where no one can find him, where there's no cell service for a couple of weeks at a time and just disappear. And so I guess I say that because it's partially in my blood, but also because I'm not alone. And also because the tech industry is running after this wild, the Rabbit or the Humane AI pin, all of these products.
Whatever Johnny Ive and Sam Altman are going to be releasing. Yeah,
exactly. All of these are intended to not be. There's this race on for the cell phone killer, but it's all trying to figure out how you can use AI to replace the addiction that we have to our cell phone device. And so, while I think it's not that it's misguided, I think that there's a big question about I think the. Joey, I feel like you've been talking about this for literally 15 years, if not 20 at this point, which is about how do you move to an interfaceless society, an interfaceless life and world. And a lot of these products are trying to figure that out, how you manipulate our interfaces in such significant ways that we can get this information and stay connected to things without having to interface with it in the ways that we've become accustomed to. And so those companies, although they are coming from highly innovative and perhaps at times navel-gazy places, coming from those places, you only go after that if you see that there's some sort of an opportunity there and that there's appetite for getting away from our phones. So
yeah, there's something interesting in it too that I hadn't really considered prior to this conversation, right? Like I agree, people clearly want to get away from it, but we have this device that has been over time consistently been oriented towards like stealing as much of our attention because it is the attention economy in a very literal sense. Eyeballs on certain things, either because they're selling ads or something else, is a way for those companies to make money. And right, we just sort of iterate in that loop for a long time. The thing that is interesting to me is that already, because of the cost structure and how cost intensive AI is, which has its own problems, but let's ignore that for a moment. People are paying for access to AI right now. If you want to use ChatGPT a certain number of times or Claude or whatever, whichever your sort of state of the art model of choice is, you're having to pay a monthly fee, right? So that orientation isn't around. In fact, they want you to use it less and continue to pay the same amount every month. And so because they're not working against the attention economy, the incentives are aligned such that it would be okay that you would use it less or that it would be out of your face, which is maybe a sort of proposition that makes it more compelling to fall into that diffusing interface idea, right? That we have earbuds in half the time anyways, good, bad, or other, which is, has been argued like by having earbuds, actually Apple is the most augmented reality company because your earbuds are like, while not visually augmented reality, auditorily augmented reality, and a whole lot of AirPods get sold. And so that idea of like, oh yeah, if I just have I've told you, like, I try to be as present as possible because I'm aware of my own shortcomings and my attention deficits and things like that. So if I'm with someone, that the only time I'm really taking out my phone is like if we're talking about something and I'm like, oh, how much does Arnold Schwarzenegger weigh? Like, I don't, like some stupid question like that. But then I put it away quickly and try to be present. And if you're using like AI in sort of situation, it's not interfering with your ability to interact with someone. So I'm like excited by no phone zones, so we can get better being human.
So I have a question for you, and I don't always. You are the parent that I speak to the most, I think. Is that true? I think it might be true, but I think about this also in terms of parenting. Like, would you, when you're away from your kiddo, like, feel comfortable with you or her being in a no phone zone, like where you can't get in touch knowingly? And at what point does that start to become something where, and I guess it's not just about children, but like urgent, this is important. How do you deal with going back to the time when there were times where you just weren't available?
Yeah. I think there's like a couple things. There's like, I have an Apple Watch, so like if I'm getting a phone call at the bar that was important, I would still receive that, but I couldn't be like taking my phone out and like scrolling socials or texting while I'm like at a table with like a bunch of people. So there are sort of these like intermediary things, but also in theory, like, we spoke about that previously. The idea of like, what does it do to transform your brain? Being off of your phone for like 3 days straight is transformative. I think it's important. And while if you can't always have 3 days straight of no phone, even just getting a couple hours with no phone is, I think, probably somewhat restorative. I mean, my parents, like when I was growing up, were going places where I couldn't access
Right.
them, and they put someone in charge of like monitoring me in that intervening time that knew 911 if I
Mhm.
you know, something bad happened. And so I don't know. I think there is like a little bit of over responsibility in parenting right now, where it's like there are
Mhm.
times where you're gonna cut out, and that is actually normal. Like the over connection is probably like an unreasonable amount of responsibility.
That's so true. I think in general, be it family, friends, professional connections, the assumption of constant access has to come with also the drain and exhaustion of having your mind on so many different things seemingly at once. And I always underscore the seemingly because none of us can multitask. We are all actually just jumping really, 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 really fast from thought to thought to thought, from project to project to project, like from person to person to person. And so it's like if I'm, constantly connected to something that's going on with my brother, like, I mean, and also I'll take a step back. To your point, like, this is very much my identity and personality. Like, I have to commit to one conversation at a time, or else I feel like I'm being disrespectful, or
Mhm.
like, and both to myself and to the other person. So whether it's a text or a phone call or an in-person hang or whatever, like, I'm going to text you back and it's going to take a lot longer because I want to give you my full attention. And unfortunately, my brain is jumping from task to task to task and thing to thing to thing every microsecond, just like every other person. That's, I'm not special in that way, but I know how I have to manage that, which is just
Mhm.
like, I have to do things slower than other people. That's how I deal with the modern onslaught.
Them's the breaks. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's it. And if you want me at any level of like worthwhile or interesting, like when I give you my time, I'll give you my time. Like I'll give you my attention, I'll give you my presence. I don't show up half-cocked. I would love the idea of others around me already being in that same space too.
Yeah.
And a no phone zone does sound really interesting because it would take everybody out of that mindset of jumping from thing to thing.
Top 3 off the cuff, non-permanent list, just in this moment. Top 3 places that you would want a no phone zone right now.
Ooh, all right. Number 1, I mean, some of them kind of already are, but 1 is the beach. And the reason for that is that everybody plays music on their like Bluetooth speakers on the beach. And I'm so fucking tired of hearing every song from the past 25 years that's a quote unquote summer jam blasting over each other at the beach. Turn it off, talk to your friends, read a book, but please turn off your crap music, at least so that I can't hear it. Second, also outdoors, hiking trails. Exact same reason. I really hate it when people, I don't know if it's a very LA thing. Maybe it's in other places too, but like Bluetooth speakers on backpacks and blasting your music while you're hiking in the wilderness. So upsetting, so frustrating. It's just everywhere. And it's like,
let me hear a bird.
let me hear a fucking bird. That's all I want. That's it. And then third no phone zone. I don't think it's very creative, and I don't go there enough. But just top of my head, movie theaters. I'm just tired of seeing badly produced, put your phone away, like trying to be humorous interstitials at the beginning of a movie experience that are like, and don't text. Like, I've never been in a movie where someone has texted or talked on the phone. I think maybe I'm lucky, but that doesn't mean that people don't do it. I just don't want to see those dumbass ads that they try to make at the beginning that are supposed to be funny but are not funny and are just taking me longer to get to my damn movie.
Yeah.
So, what are yours?
I think restaurant bar is number 1. Like talk to people, talk to a random, like,
Yep.
Whatever. Walking down the street.
Ooh.
Pull over.
Yes.
Pull over.
Yes. Joey. Yes.
You need to pull over. Like that.
God, that's good.
That's the rule. Like, I actually, right now there is a trend of I'm seeing young people on city bikes texting while riding, and that, like, as someone who's ridden in the city for a very long time, I'm just like, what are you doing? You have
So dangerous.
you have an e-bike right now and you're riding it with one hand and texting. Stop. So those are probably my 3 no phone zones.
Yes. I like this. I want a world. I don't want a world without phones. They're great, but I would love a no phone day, a no phone week. And
It's
I
the
also would-
purge.
it is. I'm going to add one more to my list because I know you had 2 and I had 3, but I want a 4th, which is work. I would like work to be a no phone zone. And I think that would be very interesting.
Or you can only do phone calls. You can only get on the blower.
Like literally on the physical phone. And I guess the reason I say that is because a lot of that multitasking mind that I was talking about affects our ability to go into any sort of deep thought in our work, at least. And so like you're still going to get distractions from chats. You're on a computer, so you're still going to get all those distractions. But there's something about not having your phone if you're someone who texts, if you're someone who's like compulsively also checking your social media, that like I think could help improve people's mental health and improve their presence in certain moments. Maybe not. I'm sure it would be a limiting factor as opposed to other places where you don't have another piece of technology that can replicate all the functions sitting in front of you. But yeah, I'd be curious.
I think you just wrapped it up, actually, Aaron.
I think so too.
Blow them all up. No more phones.
No more phones. They're gone.
The end.
We did it.
Beep, beep,
That's
beep.
it.
Critical Nonsense is a Sylvain production.
Brought to you by the nothingness that is here now that you don't have a phone. It's fun. I swear.
As always, thank you to Jessica. I hope your executive production of your executive vacation was executed executively.
Wow, that was good. I'm gonna mirror it by thanking Alex Contel, our sound engineer, who I hope has engineered sounds with engineering acumen that only sound like people can engineer.
Thanks to Les Jacobs, our programming coordinator. Sorry for the shots fired at Gen X earlier this week.
He definitely deserves that. Also, am I going to mess up the list? Sure I am. We also want to thank so many people. Sorry, Gilbert. We want to thank Amy Waters. We want to thank Nora Mestridge. We want to thank KJ. We also want to thank Amanda Medina. Everyone who helps make us show up at the right time, at the right places, maybe saying the right things, and making this podcast happen. You're amazing.
Yeah, you're incredible. Half the time we don't even do any of those things right, but you're still amazing.
Yep.
As always, thanks, Alen.
Thank you, sir.
Special thanks.
I do have a special thanks. I just finished a book. I finished 2 books actually, and
Okay, flex.
I know I joined a new book club. Read 2 books. The first is on my list of favorite books ever. It's called The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. It is it is a story. It's a mystery adventure in Baroque era France with a lot of queer characters and storylines. It's incredibly well written, really compelling stories, really fun story. I was blown away.
If it ain't Baroque, don't fix it.
If you didn't, I'd be pissed. If you didn't say that, we wouldn't be friends anymore, and I'd be done with you. That's amazing. And then the other one is The Last Sun, S-U-N, by Katie Edwards. It's the beginning of a 3-part trilogy. Again, queer protagonist, but it's all about a world in which magic is real, and the whole magical world that they have is built on tarot card houses. Like, it's a whole thing. Simple read, not the best like written book, but I ended up finishing this 2 in the trilogy, and I'm starting the 3rd book shortly. So I recommend them both. I like them.
Yeah.
They're fun.
I started going back to the Boboverse, and it is so fun. It is so fun.
Yes. Oh,
I love it. It's just nerdy nerd speculative fiction with a sense of humor. And if that's not my sweet spot, I don't know what is.
It's so good. And I actually have a zig for that zag, which is another recommendation. Traitors on Peacock. Or NBC. I watch it on Peacock. Most fun reality show experience that I've watched. It's a competition show with a bunch of seasons 2 and 3 are a bunch of influencers, or not influencers, people that you've seen on reality shows, different types. It mixes up like Housewives cast members with Selling Sunset cast members with RuPaul's Drag Race cast members. They all live in a house, and the only rule is that you have to survive every day in the house to win $250,000. And every day you vote off. There are a number of traitors that are amongst you who are trying to steal the money. It's hosted by Alan Cumming. I can't recommend it enough. It's 3 seasons in, so literally everybody's already known about this. I'm just late to the game, but like, as far as binging stuff, does not get better. Love it. Just started season 3. It's great.
Betrayal. Influencers. Yes. Alan Cummings.
And
season.
Also, you know how I am about TV. Like the meta thing that's going on in your head the whole time is like, oh, right. Everybody who's on reality TV is fake and a liar. They're all fake and liars in different ways. Whether you're on Big Brother, Survivor, or you're on Below Deck. Like, and the idea of the fakery in it is just, it's amazing. There's also a whole like sociological and anthropological thing that's going on. So yes, it's great.
Let's go. All right. Well, we did it.
We did it. Happy
Love you, mean it. Bye.
days. Bye-bye.